Hello, brilliant and embodied souls. My name is Kim. Welcome back to my channel. I have a tag for all of you, the delectable and delightful mid-year tarot check-in tag that Chanel Days has prepared for all of us yet again. Thank you, Chanel. You're amazing. I love your channel. So we have 13 prompts. They will be included in the description box below, along with a link to Chanel's original video, of course. This is a tag that has been offered, I don't know how many years now, but this is the prompts are this year's prompts. So let's get into it. A deck you've used the most so far in 2025, and that has to be the Goddess of Love Tarot, with, of course, the exception of the Circle of Doors. The Circle of Doors is always in rotation, but we don't need to like continue to look at that. This deck, however, was a really significant part of my practice in February and March. I just could not put her down. This is definitely a femme-identified deck. She is sensual. She is salty, erotic. I mean, it's the Goddess of Love, right? I wasn't sure I would get along with this deck. The art did not initially speak to me, but the power of the guidebook has seduced me. The red borders, I am here for. I did edge it in red. I don't know. It is really tapping me into divine feminine energy. And I am somebody who has tended towards maybe more assertive energy and not being able to slow down, enjoy, drop in. This deck helps me cultivate those qualities. And for that reason, it was just so welcome in February and March, which are sort of doldrum months for me personally. So it just really got me into my body. It really got me into that sensual energy that I'm talking about in association with this deck. Just all the pinks and the greens and like the splashes of blue. It just really works well for me. And I have been loving this deck. And she has wanted to come forward for others, in regards to relationship readings and just a lot of people, right, wanting to deepen their relationship with their sexuality, their sensuality, their romantic relationships, but also their relationships with their bodies. So I'm loving that deck for all of those themes. Prompt number 2. A deck that came into your collection, a new deck. So I would like to share with you the Carrot Tarts. Oh, this deck is so... This could easily show up for another prompt, which I will, of course, mention when the time is right. But this is such a springtime deck. It is really connecting me with my inner child. I don't know. It has just thrilled me. It's very new. I only brought it in maybe a couple of weeks ago. The creator is based in Poland. I'm not sure if this deck is available. I actually, went on to Etsy to leave a review, and I didn't see the deck up. So I'm not sure on the status of this beauty, but it is just so thrilling to me. It's so whimsical. It's so playful. It's very enchanting. It's a very, very enchanting deck. And the colors are just everything. The deck shows really well, you know, via video, and in person, there's just something really alive about the colors. The characters are there is some kind of trickster type energy again, but like very, very childlike, very innocent. So it is not a mean-spirited deck at all. It is again like just very playful child, and it's darling. It is a darling deck. And it's new into my collection and fast becoming a favorite. I'm having a hard time putting this down. And I mean, just like, look at that. Like, wow. And there's something, you know, the bag that it comes with, you know, it feels like it's been made by a friend. And I really love those vibes. I'm here for those vibes. Okay, prompt number 3, a deck that could be better. So this is also a new deck in my collection, and it is every little thing you do is magic. The thing that I would say could be better about this deck is the guidebook feels kind of Instagram-ish to me. It doesn't feel very mature. Just the way it's written, just the information. Some of the associations in this deck don't work for me. I hope that we can find some of them, you know, but there's lots of things that I like about this deck. I'm here for the borders. I found a really good pairing with it. The Magical Spirit Oracle by Rockpool looks very, very nice with this deck, and I'm loving that. But again, like there's just like some of the animals just don't work for me. We haven't come up on any of them quite yet. Okay, here's a good example. 9 of Pentacles, this underwater fish. To me, this reads cups. This to me could be like, you know, 9 of Cups. And I really dislike when decks don't have a clear symbolic language going on. And this deck feels very muddled to me, symbolically speaking. There's a lot of things, as I said, that I like about it. I enjoy the collage. I enjoy the juxtaposition of the illustrations with the more realistic backgrounds and accoutrement. That's cool. That's cool. But again, like just some of the choices don't seem very thought through. It feels unconsidered. And I will leave it at that because who needs this kind of negativity? We don't need this negativity. Although, you know, like discerning. We want to be discerning about our tarot purchases. That's a factor with that deck. Prompt number 4. A deck you are currently using. Okay, so this is also very new to my collection. This is the Solar Logos Tarot that just came in as well, and I am currently working with this deck. It is gorgeous. It came from the UK and is very tapped into that solar energy. But there's something really timeless about this deck. There are modern folks depicted. There are ancient folks depicted. This feels very connected to the larger human condition. There's a lot of emotive qualities within this deck. It is also hippie chic. And I love a hippie chic deck. I'm just so here for it, you know. It's great. It's just great. It's my jam. But you know, it's an RWS based deck, so very easy to read with. The illustrations are just the artist, Carrie, I'm forgetting her name. I did purchase this on Etsy. You know, she was so communicative and so great. I mean, she's clearly so talented. A lot of work went into this deck. It goes its own way in certain instances, but not in others. It doesn't have a lot of the Christian or Abrahamic overtones that often come with a Golden Dawn based deck. I am very appreciative of that. It feels agnostic, which I enjoy. Yeah, it's beautiful. I think I'm going to try and do a review of this deck. I again, I want to work with it more before I draw any conclusions, but this deck is just so of the moment for me, and I am working with it right now. All right. Prompt number 5, biggest surprise. I have the pocket edition of the Archetypes deck. What can I say? I caved. It's so wee. Oh no, I just bent one of the pages. Oh crap. Anyway, it's just, oh, it's so darling. So okay, like if you struggle with your eyesight, this is gonna be challenging, FYI, but it's so darling. It's so darling. And it's a surprise because I don't usually go for pocket editions. I don't know. It sometimes feels like a little bit of a money grab, but there's a case to be made. There is, and that's the surprise, right? I was previously like, you know, that just seems like another way to market a deck or, you know, whatever. But this particular, this in particular, like a round deck that is small is so much easier to work with. So there is a big value add here with this deck specifically being smaller. The tin is so nice because I will just throw this into, you know, my backpack or, you know, my purse or whatever. I don't have to worry about that giant box within a box situation. This is just so much more portable and usable, and I have been using this deck even more because of this wee size, and that is a surprise to me. I didn't think it would make that big of a difference, but it is. And again, I can see the logic and the rationale for pocket editions of certain kinds of decks that we want to bring with us and maybe use in some new and different ways. So I'm loving that discovery for myself. Prompt number 6, a deck crush. Okay, so I'm super crushing, you know, already mentioned Carrot Tarts, crushing hard. I'm also like really crushing on the Solar Logos Tarot. But for variety, a deck that is really coming forward this year is the Desert Rites. I just really love this deck. I'm finding it a touch tricky to pair because it's a very cool deck tonality wise. It also has this desert theme, which I'm all about. However, that does mean the decks that I pair with it also need to have that kind of arid desert theme. To me, deserts, I associate deserts with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves and deepening our connection with, you know, inner quests. I associate deserts with developing ourselves the divine in powerful ways. So again, like, you know, just the themes of this deck, the color palette, the fact that it's digital collage, and very realistic in a lot of ways, have made it a touch challenging to pair. You know, its natural friend is the tarot deck that was just released by the same creator. Oh shoot, I'm blanking on it, which I have. You know, those go together so very well, but I mean, it's like obvious, right? But I don't know, I just like this deck just gives me really helpful, meaningful, but gentle guidance, and I am just crushing. I'm crushing. The guidebook does have like a little weirdness going on. Like you and seeker are always italicized, which kind of bugs me. But the meaning, you know, the messages from this guidebook are so good. Oh my God, I love like the backs. I mean, like, yes, it's just, yeah. Yeah. Me and this deck have been having a little love affair. Okay. Prompt number 7, a favorite single card from a deck. I'm going to go with the Tower from the Philorcos Tarot. This is my all-time favorite Tower card, and when I heard this prompt, this card just came to my mind. It just gets into my psyche. I've had the Philorcos Tarot for quite a while now, so this being my favorite card is not new to 2025. It's just where my mind went for this prompt, and I don't know, there's something about reworking the meaning of the Tower, because, you know, yeah, it has that sudden change, it has that like massive like disruption element, but there's other more positive readings for the Tower. And in fact, in drawing the Tower card, you know, on a daily basis, like it has not always signified doom. It has often signified what this card is getting at, this particular depiction, that there's something that is really changing within me and like working itself through the tower of my body. So this deck, or excuse me, this card is just really fantastic. And I just can't get over it. And also, I mean, like the backs, this is one of my favorite backs. This creature, it like called out to me when I first saw this deck. That creature said to me, you know, not literally, but I guess energetically, we are meant to do big work together. Yeah. All right. Prompt number 8, a deck that makes you happy. And I have the Morgan's Tarot. This is also new to my collection this year. It sadly seems to be out of print, so heads up. But this deck just makes me laugh. It makes me chuckle. It is bizarre. It is a trip. It really is kooky. It's psychedelic. It is definitely of a moment. It was first published in 1970, so it is very counterculture. I love this deck. It will totally turn a reading on its head. And I've just been in the mood for some laughs because of our present circumstances. I did a video earlier this month, or maybe it was last month, I can't remember, about comic decks, you know, decks that help us laugh, that can, you know, make us giggle and help us be happy, right? This deck was included in that video. Yeah, it's making me very happy right now. And it's just, it's again, it's very playful. It is, but it's profound. It's very profound. The messages that come through can be very surprising, very, very surprising. It just, I don't know. It drops you into this liminal space because it's so off kilter, and within that liminal space, something new can arise. Something different can arise. I want to find my favorite card in this deck, because, let's dovetail with the previous prompt. Sorry, folks. It of course is going to be, at the bottom of the deck, because that's how that typically works when you're trying to find a card. Wow, it's hiding from me. See, that's what this deck does. Okay, it just messes with you. It messes with you, and that makes me kind of happy. Okay, we're not finding that card. I'm just gonna take that as a message that this deck, it just, see, that's one of the ways it communicates. It doesn't just communicate with the cards you pull. Like, there's other ways that this deck communicates that make me delighted and giggled and confounded, and that actually makes me happy. Prompt number 9, a great guidebook. I mean, of course, like the Circle of Doors. Okay, I know I already mentioned it, but this is the best guidebook, hands down, in my opinion. This deck just has the best guidebook. Okay, the Magician card was on the top. Let's just take a look at this guidebook. It is very succinct, but it packs such a punch. Let me read this to all of you. So we have a poem. The skies trace the shape of my destiny. The mountains dance the rhythm of my ancestors. I stand at the center of the crossroads of time. I am the voice that sings our story to life. The Magician. All you see is magic. With a clear mind and a keen sight, you become a golden river that flows between imagination and reality. By aligning yourself with the secret laws of this world, every word you speak makes your dreams come true. Everything the Magician pays attention to is capable of unfolding into infinite dimensions of power and connection. By trusting in their own divine nature, they make magic real by simply declaring that it is real. Do you feel like the world is giving you a sign? What is the source of your highest thought? How can you make your whole life a lens to split the rainbow of cosmic truth? Affirmations. I'm always acting according to my true will. If I can imagine it, it can be made real. The world is alive with knowledge. What I speak shall be so. Ooh, chills, right? Yeah. There's just no guidebook that beats that. A runner-up at the moment is actually the Goddess of Love Tarot. This is a great guidebook. Gabrielle Hersik nailed it. I really enjoy her writing. I really enjoy her seeing the tarot through this specific erotic lens. There's a lot of truths to be found within that guidebook, and I'd say that's a runner-up. Prompt number 10, what deck do you want by the end of the year or are still waiting on? So I would say the Conjunction Tarot, which is a Kickstarter that might still be going on, but it's pretty close to the end, I would imagine. It looks so beautiful. It looks very magical. The artwork reminds me of Valley Myers, her artwork. There's a lot of things about it that are not Valley Myers, but it just looks like a really well thought out, very like magically infused deck. And those are some of my favorite decks, right? Where it's very clear the creator put a lot of effort into the deck. I'm very excited about that one. Okay, prompt number 11. Which deck hasn't been used yet or barely, but you want to work with this year? And that is this lovely, quiet, unassuming deck, Remembering the Sweet Fool Tarot. I wasn't sure this deck was for me, but the images are very, very haunting. And really speak to something ancestral. This deck feels incredibly magic infused. The author, the creator, I can feel their presence, their reverence for the land upon which they live. I believe the creator lives in Scotland. So yeah, like this deck is just otherworldly. Like it is very liminal. It is very Hecatean. It again does not have any of the traditional Golden Dawn Abrahamic influence. So it is very witchy, very occult, but you know, nature-based and rooted in place. The reason why I haven't worked with this deck is that when I acquired it, we were really coming out of the winter here in Northern California where I live, and it was just becoming like so much more sunny, and the heat was coming back. So this deck feels very winter to me. It feels very like like when it's raining and it's cool and damp, and so I really look forward to using this deck during the fall and during the rainy months where I live. So there is a timing issue with this particular deck. But I can sense that this deck and I are going to do some powerful things together. I get the chills when I look at it. There's also something very innocent and childlike. This brings me back to some specific memories I have as a child, making magic as a child. And yeah, this deck and I, the timing hasn't been quite right, but I have faith that this deck and I are going to, like I said, have a really powerful connection when the time is right. Okay, prompt number 12, fave video you've made or seen. I'd say my fave video was just my first video this year, doing a recap of my favorite decks last year. Not because of like the video itself, but because I started to make videos, and I'm really excited about that. I'm really proud of myself for coming back to making tarot content, and you know, I hope to make other types of content too, and not, you know, totally restrict myself creatively speaking, but yeah, just I'm excited to be here. And then, you know, favorite video that I've seen, you know, I really loved Joniki over at Catamancy Tarot's tag related to reading for others, right? Like if we could read for anybody. I loved that video that she created. I loved the tag. I was kind of bummed that more people didn't get into it, because I mean, like, what a great idea, right? Like, if you could read tarot for anybody. And she presented all of these amazing categories. I had so much fun making that video. So maybe that's my second favorite video. But, you know, just watching her video as well, it was great. It was so good. Okay, finally, prompt number 13, pull a card for the next 6 months, or pick a card whose energy you want to bring into the next 6 months. All right, let's just, you know, since we, you know, we're gonna head into the darker half of the year. Let's just get right into working with remembering the sweet pool and pull. I'm gonna pull a card. So the next 6 months, energy for the next 6 months. Energy for the next 6 months. The middle pile has our answer. And we have the wheel. Oh man. I mean, for a question like this, when you pull the wheel, like what do you make of that? Okay, well, you know, yeah, things are gonna change. Just check out all the little nuances within this card. You know what this wheel reminds me of? It reminds me of, as a child, playing with elements. My grandmother had a shadow box, and she had all of these like little bits and bobs in the shadow box. And I loved looking at the shadow box and noticing where my eye went in the shadow box and what that told me about myself in the moment. This card kind of reminds me of that, and kind of like this ritual I had of like kind of spinning myself around and then looking at the shadow box. This memory is coming forward as I look at this card. I have a feeling this indicates that my spiritual practice might change up a little bit. And right, like that message is not coming through in the rote understanding of the Wheel of Fortune, right? That is coming through because of this specific Wheel of Fortune. Oh yeah, me and this deck, we're gonna have a moment. I can tell. Oh, well, it's been so lovely to have a mid-year chat with all of you. What a wonderful tag. I can't wait to look at other people's catch-ups, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great mid-year moment. Till the next time. Bye.